Question 23. 4 choices dealing with punctuation on our boundaries. The 47 geothermal springs of Arkansas Hot Springs National Park are sourced via a process known as natural groundwater recharge. Natural groundwater recharge. Now notice how this is being elaborated using in which rainwater percolates downward through the earth. Okay. In this case, the porous rocks of the hills around hot springs. Now, just by reading from rainwater percolating down through the earth, I don't have a complete information on the natural groundwater recharge. So I need more information about this process and possibly hot springs to collect in subterranean basin. Okay, so the best way to approach this question is process the information clearly so we know where a possible punctuation can be placed. So let's go back and think about what was mentioned here. Natural groundwater recharge, what is that? This is when rainwater percolates downward through the earth. So what does that mean? What does it mean by rainwater percolating down through the earth? It means that it's being elaborated here using this dash. In this case, the porous rocks of the hills around hot springs. So water, it flows down. It goes through these porous rocks of the hills around hot springs. Now, the rainwater, so how do we achieve this geothermal springs in Arkansas? We can achieve that by collecting these rainwater in a subterranean basin. So this idea here, to collect, is going to be a continuation from percolating downward through the earth to collect in subterranean basin. Okay, so your interpretation of the idea is all it takes to place clear punctuation. In this case, this dash here, okay, this dash here needs to be enclosed with another dash, and the times that we use these double dash is like, imagine having two commas. We place something called non-essential clause, or what the College Board so calls supplements. Okay, supplements go in between two commas. We use the two dash instead of two commas to emphasize, for higher emphasis, and it eliminates the cost of having extra two commas. So imagine that we want to have multiple commas in a sentence, and in this one we have this comma here. So instead of having comma here in this case and then comma there and then another comma, this would create a very confusing idea. So in place of having these two commas, we instead place those with two dash to make this comma more clear, as well as clarifying what goes in here is what explains the whole process of natural groundwater recharge. So the correct answer for question 23 would be choice C, where the dash here, dash there is setting off the explanation about this case, the porous rocks of the hills around hot springs. That is the supplement that we're using in between these two dash. And so the other choices, obviously with choice A, this is a run-on that would make the first dash very unclear. And this one is having a colon usage after a dash, where this dash will become very confusing and useless. This one again is using dash and a comma. So these misusage of punctuations really kill the idea of the sentence. Choice C, using a double dash, is the best way to clarify what this geothermal springs, or how the geothermal springs of Arkansas Hot Springs National Park is sourcing through the process known as natural groundwater recharge.